What's up, y'all? Welcome to Just Geeking Out. And you saw the thumbnail, you saw the title. We're going to get into that Captain America Brave New World review. Spoilers up and down. But before that, hit that notification bell. Make sure you like, subscribe, and go into the comment section. I want to know what you thought of this movie. I just saw it. It's pretty late. Well, late for me. But I wanted to get home and give this review as it's fresh in my thoughts. Got my handy dandy Captain America right here. I enjoyed the movie. I saw the Rotten Tomatoes score. I see some of the critics. I see some of the TikTokers, and I don't really understand why this movie is so hated. People are hating this movie. Is it perfect? No, not even close. Does it have problems? Absolutely. Is it bad? No. Is it mid? No, I'd say it's solid and good. But there are a lot of problems. But I don't get the outpouring of hate. I really don't. Let's talk about the actors. I think Anthony Mackie is a great Captain America. I think he's a great lead. He's charismatic, he's funny, but it doesn't feel like super jokey, and he looks like he is physically capable of doing all the things that Cap should be doing. Harrison Ford is a great General Ross, especially with the passing of the last actor. I mean, it's Harrison Ford. What are we doing here? And the supporting cast is great. The new Falcon is fun, and Ruth is fun. And to see Isaiah Bradley back, I enjoyed this. I don't really know what the problem. Well, let's go into the problem. Well, let's go into the whole thing as a whole. I love the first sequence where Cap comes down and he's kind of fighting. What would you call them? Basically, these guys are holding these people hostage, and Cap comes down and gets to business. If you guys are wondering, and you didn't pick it up, why he's able to do what he's doing, his suit is made of vibranium, so it absorbs and displaces energy, and Cap gets busy, and so does Baby Falcon. I'll call him Baby Falcon for now on. And then basically you got General Ross trying to come up with this treaty for peace, and he wants Cap to reform the Avengers, and he kind of wants the Avengers to work for the US government. And Sam, of course, isn't really feeling that. General Ross is part of the reason why there is no Avengers with the Sokovia Accords. And I'll say that before I keep going, is this movie does rely on you to do a little bit of homework. So if you're more of a casual watcher, I understand why this might not have hit you in any kind of way. This movie, when it comes to General Ross, assumes you watch and remember Edward Norton's Incredible Hulk. It definitely assumes you watched Falcon and Winter Soldier. So if you haven't watched those, or you don't remember them because they didn't impact you, you may go into this film not caring about these characters when you needed to. So for me, like I said, going into this, seeing Sam be Cap, after watching him struggle with that identity in Falcon Winter Soldier, I loved it. I loved him having fun being Cap in the beginning of the movie when he rescues the hostages, because I watched him for 8 to 10 episodes struggle with wanting to pick up that mantle, and I like seeing Falcon with him, because it's reminiscent of Watcher 6 with him when he meets Steve. And yeah, I like that now he's in a position that Steve was in with this newer Falcon, although Sam was much more established than this guy is as Falcon. And then, you know, when we get to after their mission accomplished, he takes the baby Falcon and get trained, and it's Isaiah Bradley. And if you didn't watch Falcon Winter Soldier, I mean, it's so freaking good. And that's another series. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent here. That's another series that got like over hate. Falcon Winter Soldier is good. And maybe when it came out, because it was grouped together with Loki and WandaVision, for a lot of people, it was the lesser of those, which is fair. But I think when we go back and look at the entire Disney Plus Marvel series, Falcon Winter Soldier is pretty great. When you just have Loki and WandaVision, you can go, it's lackluster. But when you start looking at freaking Echo and She-Hulk and even Moon Knight, I'm throwing you in there, and Werewolf by Night, and you can't tell me that it's bad. Anyway, let's get back to this. So I brought that up to say, if you don't have a connection to Isaiah Bradley and Falcon Winter Soldier, then I'm sure when you don't get the point of this guy. All you see is, oh, he used to be a Captain America. You don't get the stakes and the depth of why he doesn't want to go back to jail. You know, why he kept himself a secret for so long. So it depends on you to do your homework. And then General Ross and his daughter. Now, we don't get a whole lot of their relationship in The Incredible Hulk. We do get a sense of it because he's after Bruce and she's with Bruce. But to not have any understanding, or to even know he had a daughter who was with Banner going into this, it might be a bit of a stretch, or it might be hard for you to care. So I understand that. I know this stuff, so I immediately cared. I love Isaiah Bradley. I'm an actor. I would love to play Isaiah Bradley in like in a kind of prequel of when he was Captain America. I'd love it, throwing it into the universe. Anyway, so then we get into the plot of this. And I'm not going to recap the movie. If you're watching this, I'm sure you saw it. But I think it had good ideas. And I'm going to talk about the problems, and then I'm going to gush about all the things I loved about it. I think the problems comes down to it trying to do too many things, and it has the shortest runtime of like I think any MCU film, and it's trying to do a lot of things in a short amount of time, 1 hour and 40 minutes, and it could have been a little longer. Excuse me, but I think that trying to do a thriller, bit of espionage, turning it into kind of a Hulk movie, which is also still a Captain America movie, it's a lot of heavy lifting. And I think this movie is going to be compared to Captain America Winter Soldier, and it compared itself to that. But what Captain America Winter Soldier has that this movie doesn't have is it was thrilling. It felt like a thriller. And we sometimes look at Captain America Winter Soldier with nostalgia glasses, because it was still fun. It still had its silly, goofy moments. It still had all of that. But you got Cap on the run, Bucky's back from the dead, and then you find out that S.H.I.E.L.D. has all these Hydra operatives. Like, that's a lot to wrap your head around. Cap's world is completely turned upside down. We don't get to see Sam go through something like that in this film. You know, Isaiah Bradley gets arrested and he's obviously brainwashed. They have it on the video cameras to see that he was brainwashed. So at no point you're worried that he's not going to be able to have his name cleared. Like, it's on camera. You see him get flashed. So the stakes are pretty low when it comes to that. And Sam's world isn't really turned upside down. You know, he's not incredibly different than he is before he's in the beginning of the movie. And that's a crucial thing for any protagonist in any film, is they kind of have to start a certain way. And by the end of the movie, they learn a very important lesson that changes the way they see the world. And for Sam, I feel like he's pretty consistent. I think that as much as I enjoyed Falcon and Winter Soldier, it kind of like cuts the legs out from this movie. Because that was a series where Sam was having a hard time with believing he can step into Steve Rogers' shoes. And that's a big thing, and that's a big thing we want to see this character go through. And he kind of goes through it, and he comes out on the other side. So when this film starts, I'm like, what is the lesson for him to learn? He's kind of like a pretty great Captain America in the beginning of the movie, and at the end, he's a pretty great Captain America. He works with others, he has his sidekick, he follows orders, but also knows when to disobey them. There's no real growth, which is kind of a problem. The pacing is also a bit off. There's a lot of exposition, a lot of talking, and I don't mind talking. It's a movie, there should be talking, but they're kind of explaining the plot to you instead of showing you sometimes, and I feel like that can feel boring, especially for people who go into this expecting like an MCU freaking romp. This is much more grounded, and there is a lot of talking. And I didn't mind that in the beginning as they're setting up the movie, but lots of exposition. And when I say the pace, in Winter Soldier, the pace felt thrilling because it felt like there was a ticking time clock. Cap had to get to Bucky and stop Bucky before agents get to Bucky, but also gotta get Bucky before he's killing people. And we gotta go undercover because we're like enemies of the state, him and Black Widow. So automatically, like, the stakes are high. They don't have time to dilly-dally. Where in this film, we say Isaiah Bradley is going to get the death penalty when he gets arrested, but there's no feeling as though Sam better hurry up before this guy gets put down. There's no and we get a sense of when the war starts, between and when they're fighting over the adamantium, when the Celestial's there, but there's no sense of the clock is ticking, it's about to run out, you better hurry up or else. And I think you need that in a thriller. Every thriller has that hourglass feeling of the sand running out, and our hero better get there in time or else. It didn't have that. And as far as the Red Hulk is concerned, I don't know if that's the showdown we needed. The final fight was between Captain America and Red Hulk, and I don't know if I buy their fight. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. But when I think about this vibranium suit, and I started to just say to myself, well, maybe Red Hulk is significantly weaker than the Green Hulk. But then he was doing stuff where it's like he can't be, because he just tore apart the White House like it was nothing. I do sense that it takes him longer to heal than Green Hulk. But their fight felt like there's no way Sam is taking a punch from this guy. I don't care with his vibranium shield. His bones would just rattle. I don't know. But that was kind of hard to get my head around. And I don't know what the final fight could have been, because our guy, Stern, he's not a fighter, and his whole thing was to get revenge on General Ross, and he actually won. The bad guy won. All he wanted to do was discredit Ross, and he actually does it. And Ross is in jail in the end. He actually, mission accomplished. He doesn't care about being free or getting away with it. He just wants to see Ross go down. And he won. So I don't know what the takeaway with that is either. What's the theme? What's the lesson here? Excuse me. It's late. So that's kind of problematic for me when I'm thinking about what's the point? Where are our characters at the end of this where they weren't in the beginning. Now I'll say Ross definitely has an arc in wanting to sort of, because he in the beginning of the movie he wanted to redeem himself and be the kind of father that Betty would want. He always wanted that, and in the end he gets it. Because he does have an arc. He allows himself to be arrested. He admits everything he's doing. He gives up power, and then he gets his daughter. So yes, he has a wonderful arc when you look at it on paper. So I'd say those are the biggest problems. Is the whole movie you're kind of waiting for the Red Hulk showdown, and then you just don't really buy that Sam can fight him. And then the idea that it's a thriller, but there's no sense of urgency to it. And then they kind of drop these tidbits that sound cool but don't go anywhere. Like Ruth, they say she's a former widow. If they didn't say anything like that, I wouldn't have known. And I think that's important. Are you just saying she's a former widow to tie the universe? Or is there a specific reason why she's here from a character and story point? And it just kind of felt like that notion was just dropped in to be dropped in, and it didn't feel like it was going anywhere. Much like Isaiah Bradley being arrested and he's on death row. He might get, I don't know if it's the chair, but they'll put him down. It didn't feel like Sam was like, well, we have to hurry up and do this before. So like they're dropping these things in there that don't really do anything. So that's that. Those are my biggest qualms. But what I really enjoyed, like I said, I thought the actors were great. The choreography was dope. The action was really great. You know, we've had the Marvels, Ant-Man, Quantumania, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, and Spider-Man No Way Home. So every MCU movie for a while have been, and before Spider-Man No Way Home, was that Endgame? Or was there one between? I can't remember, but world-ending things. And it's cool to see a movie where it's, superhero, but the world's not going to end if the bad guy wins here. It's much more, not street level, but more grounded, which I appreciate. We don't need a world-ending event at all times. Somebody explain to me why Bucky is a congressman. Did I miss that in Falcon Winter Soldier? Yeah, because the Thunderbolts trailer don't feel like he's a congressman. I don't know. Let me know. What did I miss there? I also thought that there was a missed opportunity to watch Sam kind of have that Hawkeye, Daredevil type of, it hurts to not be superpowered. Like Sam got stabbed in the chest, the knife is in there, pulls it out, and still like moves around like nothing happened. And this movie is way too grounded. It's grounded enough in realism for that to be like, what? He had an axe to his side, and they tried to say his shirt was kind of Kevlar. It still went through. And it would have been great to see what it looks like for a human being being thrashed like this. It does hurt. When you mess up, you don't heal. And I would have loved to see that fully explored. I also would have loved to see, and maybe it was explored in Falcon Winter Soldier, I don't remember, but why didn't he take the serum? We say you didn't take the serum, I should have taken the serum, which is pretty funny. But why didn't he? He couldn't have thought it was less, like he was too high, too good to take it, because Steve Rogers had the serum. Steve Rogers is the example for every hero to follow. So I would have loved to see and hear his reason for not taking the serum. And it could have been something as simple as, and they kind of alluded to it in the movie where Bucky is like, Steve Rogers made people hopeful, but Sam inspires people because he's just a regular guy doing this. And I would have loved to see Sam like turn down the serum in the series or in this movie for those reasons. I would love to hear that come out of his mouth, for him to have that discovery as he turns it down. Anywho, so final thoughts as I'm rambling. I enjoyed it. It's flawed. I went over the flaw. Oh, one of the biggest flaws, and it's almost unforgivable, is to have Giancarlo Esposito in this film and I'm sure he'll come back. He's just like this mercenary, whatever guy. I'm sure the Serpent, he'll come back, but man, like that kind of actor, man, that's the guy you cast as Dr. Doom, no offense, Robert Downey Jr., or that's your Professor X, right? Like you can build an entire world around the genius of that man's work. And I'm like, oh, if you're casting this role, that's pretty much it. I wish they would have saved you for like Professor X or something. But who knows? Maybe this guy will come back and come back and come back, and I'll shut my mouth. But those are my thoughts, kind of like a rambling mess of it, because I just got out of theater. I'm sure when I shut this off, I'll think of a million other things. But it was good. It was good. It was better than it was better than Ant-Man 2 and 3. It was better than Iron Man 2 and 3, in my opinion. I think it was better than Thor: The Dark World, and I think it's, I don't know if it's better. Is it better than Thor: Love and Thunder? I think it is. That still was kind of a good time, even though it was a train wreck. But yeah, it's not a bad film, and it's overhated, and it's being over criticized. And this is like the MCU's first big outing in a little while. We kind of need this to like do well and usher in the next phase. And oh, in the post-credit scene, you have Sam, go to Stearns, right? Yeah, Stearns. And, they talk about fighting for the world, and there's more than one world, and the others are coming, which we're thinking like, is this the Secret Wars and all that stuff that's to come? We'll see. It didn't give too much away. But those are kind of my thoughts. I feel like it was good, but if you're looking for Captain America Winter Soldier, this isn't it. But in fairness, not many movies are as good. Not many superhero movies are as good as Captain America Winter Soldier. And I enjoyed watching Sam be Cap. Anyway, I am rambling now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Do you feel like it's overhated? Do you feel like it's hated rightfully? Or did you really enjoy this movie? Let me know. I thought it was good. I'm very confused. While we're here, let's talk about that Thunderbolt trailer. And I'll talk about it again on Talking Geek. I am really confused. Now, this movie kind of sets up that there are no Avengers. It's completely disbanded. They never got back together. But when I'm watching the Thunderbolts trailer, these severely underpowered Suicide Squad type team going up against Sentry, right? Sentry, but the dark version of him. Where are the rest of the heroes? And I get it, Thor's off-world, Captain Marvel's probably off-world, but when you got like a world-ending threat, like a guy who's taken over a whole New York, where's Spider-Man? Where's Daredevil? Where's Monica Rambeau? Where's Ms. Marvel? Where's Hawkeye? Where's Captain America? yeah, they're gonna have to answer a lot of questions if these kids. Where's Hulk? They have to answer a lot of questions. Where's Red Hulk? Wouldn't you release him for a threat like that? Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see for that. But thank you for watching and entertain my rambling thoughts of this film. Yeah, I'm tired. It's pretty late right now. I'm out of here. Catch me. Same Captain time, same Captain channel. Peace.